thinking about dreams, and I've given lectures on dreams for a number of years, and I mentioned dreams in my book. In the book, I talk about how things are not like they really seem, and dreams can impact your life in many ways if you pay attention to them. And what I'd like to do today is, I have a lot of technical knowledge about dreams, and I'm going to give you a couple of splashes of things, but not get into that. What I'd like to do is just go through some important elements about dreams, and then have a little session, put you to sleep for a second or two, and see what you dream. And that's going to be a fun part. And so, there's a thing called quantum physics. This is the technical part. It's only going to be about 2 or 3 sentences. And quantum physics essentially says that the invisible overpowers the realm of material. If you remember what Darwinism is, you know Darwin, that we evolved through competition, survival of the fittest. I challenge that theory. I don't think that's what really has happened. What I think has happened is that we have energy from our minds, and we are given information from spirit. And that information is what drives the material, not the material driving the invisible. Simple crystal, the study. I'm putting it next to my head. What's it doing? Anybody? What's it doing? Something's coming out of my head, right? When we dream, something comes out of your head. Think about it. It's electromagnetic energy. Last week, the United States Army announced some experiments. They measured with special equipment. I won't get into the details and specifics of the equipment, which is very technical, but they put their instrument in front of someone's heart. Where's my heart? There it is. And your heart is putting out energy. And then they took the instrument out to here, and then here, and it went out 8 feet. And literally, it measures energy coming from a heart. We now have instrumentation to do that. Energy comes from your mind. Where's your mind? Where's your mind? Do you know? Is it inside? Is it outside? Is it this energy around? Quantum physics says maybe so. Because this is the way that the scientists are now studying this from all over the world. I brought up, are you familiar with Dr. McCullough's website? He talks about health, how you should be eating, and how you should be taking care of yourself and so forth. He has a website. McCullough, you can bring it up on the website. And he had an article in there this morning about some research that was being done, which confirms what I wrote in 2004. It's just hitting the headlines now. That everything is energy, and you are energy, and that's what drives the world, is what you think. Your thoughts are things, and that's what drives evolution to its next level. And so I humbly come before you and suggest that this is the way we should be thinking, and that our thoughts are things, and we should be thinking positive things, and we should be having positive dreams, and looking at dreams to guide us in our life. Because it's been proven that this can indeed help people evolve to a higher level of consciousness. And in fact, you can even predict the future in your dreams. There was a woman that I read in the magazine not too long ago, the Venture magazine put out by the Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach, Virginia. the Edgar Casey, you know, ever heard of Edgar Casey? Yes, yes. Wow, a lot of yeses. I got my second master's there, transpersonal psychology. They call it now transpersonal studies. And what they're saying is that we are indeed capable of predicting the future. And some woman wrote in to the editor of Venture magazine and said, I keep on having these dreams about the future, things happening. And so she did her own study by herself over 15 months, 15 months, and characterized over 965 dreams she had, down to 123 dreams. And she had two criteria. The two criteria were that they had to be unexpected, totally unexpected, and they had to be unusual. She found out of 123 of these selected dreams out of over 900, 67 of them, that thing happened the next day. That unusual, unexpected thing happened the very next day. And that within the next 2 to 10 days, 39 happened. 14 happened between 11 and 100 days. And then 3 happened beyond 100 days. And they were all precognitive. You know what cognition is? That's another form of energy. I'll be talking about that a little bit in my next lecture. And so, you too can predict your future or things that happen to your family. Friends, you ever get a phone call and say, gee, I was just thinking about you?
Mm-hmm.
Never happened? A lot of heads going up and down. It's happened to me numerous times. And being a clairvoyant, I get that all the time. Sometimes, unfortunately, I actually dial my daughter up in Virginia, one of my 2 daughters up, you know, what's going on today? Well, Dad, I was going to tell you this, but let it out. And so, I have a handout here. So some of them are thicker than others. That's because I got environmentally conscious about putting more of the thoughts on a sheet of paper rather than a single thought. So there's some of them that's thicker. Sure. And I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. And I put a lot of questions in the first page. And if you don't go too far ahead on me in the pages, you can stick with me, because I'm going to go through it really fast. So, on the first page, do dreams have a purpose? They can, absolutely. Does everyone dream? Absolutely. How many dreams do you think you have each night? Roughly. Anybody?
Dozens.
Anybody else?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Anybody? 4 to 6 dreams a night.
Mm.
How do we know that? A fellow by the name of Monroe in 1980 in Virginia, I'm mistaken, developed an institute for sleeping, and he had all these beds.